Unlocking leadership transformation into the future. We look at leadership 1.0, 4.0, and how this society has transformed. 1.0 and 4.0, and humanity is in red, IPCC report. What are the qualities of future leaders? The leadership transformation journey. Challenges and change implementation. And what are our top issues today? We'll reflect it back. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. As we look into the future, the leaders will be those that empower others. A once-in-generation pandemic. We are standing on one side of a massive river of uncertainty and hardship. We are now seeing the other side of the river, Christine Lagarde, President of the European Central Bank. The impact of pandemic. People are concerned. Many economies have been burnt and shattered. People are concerned about job security. 60% are worried that automation is putting many jobs at risk. 48% believe that traditional employment will not last. 39% think that their jobs will be obsolete after 5 years. Code red for humanity. Planet will warm by 1.5 C in the next 2 decades. Without drastic moves to eliminate greenhouse gas pollutions. It took approximately 250 years to move from industry 1.0 to 4.0. At the same time, in the next 10 years, 10 to 15 years, we have to eliminate climate change. Society 1.0 to 5.0. Society 1.0 started with stone, metal, weapons. Society 2.0 started with farming community. 3.0 was industrial society. 4.0 was information society. And now we are in a 5.0, which is a super smart society looking at IoT, big data, AI. The concept is centered around well-being and happiness of human beings. So what is the transition process from 1.0 to 5.0? The leadership transitions from authoritarian to selflessness, lack of vision to a clear vision, mission, and a goal. Lack of goals to a purpose-driven society, focusing on social issues such as increasing energy, foodstuff, security, safety, climate change, aging population, regional inequality, and economic disparity. And embracing change is one of the qualities. Change is constant. The quality of future leaders are around selflessness, applying elements of empathy and emotional intelligence, having a clear vision, a drive, a purpose for the humanity, purpose for the society, ability to embrace change, nurturing and caring, integrity, communication, We look at two elements of that leadership qualities. One is change management. Change is constant across all four technologies and across societies. So as leaders from a quality perspective, we need to understand change. And any change meets with resistance. People don't like change. I want to apply the Kubler-Ross curve here. It all starts with denial, and then the frustration cycle, moving on to a depression phase, and then the experiment, decision, and integration. It's all about creating alignment across the denial phase, maximize communication, and at the depression phase, spark motivation by empathy and emotional intelligence. It's about the denial phase is about shock and denial. It's about communicating information. The depression phase is about watching, listening, and supporting them achieve their wider objectives. And finally, exploration, decision-making and integration involves commitment. In the crisis case, we need to have the empathy. The recovery phase is about trust and action, pulling on to the growth phase. There's a team, vision, and digital phase. And clearly, emotional intelligence is around self-awareness, empathy, motivation, self-regulation, and social skills. So what are the challenges in change implementation? It's about employee resistance. It's about culture. It's about fear of losing jobs, lack of skills. It is about communication. Communication of the change, and a clear understanding that what is the plan for the change, and what is the impact on the employees and the final customers. The perspective, what have you done specific to increase employee engagement during a change phase? It could be an external change like COVID. It could be a technological change. It could be a company legislation change. These are a couple of checks you can do to increase employee engagement. Check their well-beings, yoga classes, flexible working arrangements, focus on individual needs, support. Ask people about their mental health. Try and get into the crux of the issues. Implementation of new technologies. Establish a proper plan. Communicate the impacts of the change and provide assurance. When including technological change, we need to ask if there's a need for a change. Is there an essence? Is there a purpose? Is it going to meet the end objective? And finally, because of COVID, there has been a new dimension. These are the top issues. Issues of mental health, family issues. There are financial issues, stress, job loss, lack of security, lack of support and help, lack of feeling connected. And mental health issues today has been the top issue. If you look at the working age, up to 49 years, for example, 50% and above are impacted. So as leaders, making those changes from a leadership perspective to increase the company performance, we need to be aware of the reaction people. Could not be that employee, it could be somebody who is one step, or a family member, or a distant friend who's impacted, which is impacting your employee. So it's important for us to understand the whole concept of mental health. Reflecting back, Leadership 1.0 to 4.0 requires considerable transition. Society has transitioned. Today, climate change is playing a huge part. And the qualities of future leaders is very clear. It is about constant change and how we need to transform as leaders to support the wider people and the company objectives and the customer objectives. And then finally, there's a new dimension, the dimension of top issues from a pandemic. How do we as leaders manage their expectations for workers, for colleagues? So it's utterly important that we'll start looking at organizational changes. And the purpose of the change, the context and the objectives. Is there a need? What is the difference? What are the impact? We need to think about our people. Are they happy? Are they comfortable with the change? Is there a plan for the change? Are they happy to inculcate and apply those elements of the change? We have to rethink family. Family values have been lost. Connections have reduced. And most importantly, think about self. How are you going to do these changes? If you are under pressure yourself, you have to be happy. You have to be comfortable as leader to make those changes. So think about yourself, your health, and your surroundings as part of the change. And that's part of your leadership strategy. So as we move today, we are moving to create value for the company, value for the people. And as leaders, how do we meet those two objectives and see your own health? Think about it. Think about your health, your family, and then the company. Thank you.